All right, let's talk about traditional higher education. Whether we're talking college, whether we're talking MBA or a PhD, um, the base idea is the same in all of them. Gather knowledge and information. The drop off point that they all seem to suffer from is applying it. And I'm going to focus on that a little bit today. Welcome, colleagues. George Sloan. This is Myford University. We are going to look at the idea of traditional higher education and one of its main drawbacks. Now, you've heard me talk about the drawbacks of, hey, it takes forever, hey, it costs a lot of money, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to focus on one of the biggest problems that it has, that I have focused on and I have mentioned, but I don't put as much emphasis on it. And that is, you go and you accumulate knowledge and skills. Quite frankly, the knowledge and skills anyone could learn. There's no real mystery, with the exception of certain high end situations where there's high end mathematics or science, STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. Um, Most of the stuff that you learn, I've said it before, especially when it comes to MBAs, a motivated 12-year-old could learn the basic knowledge and skills. No kidding. A motivated 12-year-old could learn it. So there's not as much mystery or mystique, although they try to create that. The real problem with traditional higher education is the lack of application. Now, granted, they will do hypotheticals, they will do theoreticals, they'll do things in fantasy land. I always think back to school with Rodney Dangerfield when he was dealing with the accounting professor and he said, "Let's build a factory in fantasy land." Very funny movie. Check it out. But anyway, that's where they really fall off. There's very little real world application that gets done. And if you're not applying it, the knowledge and skills that you gather, you're really just collecting it. And I've talked about just in time learning and versus just in case learning. You should check those videos out. They are on the channel. But if you're just collecting it, it decays. You start to forget it, and it doesn't stick the same way it would if you had used it in a application. And that's why one of the emphases that we put on what we do is, yeah, we can show you the knowledge and skills. Anybody can learn them. The real key, the real trick is to apply them and create deliverables. And when you do that, you're then making connections in your mind and coming up with a series of solutions that you can replicate because you've learned it, you've done it a few times. I firmly believe a great substitute for an MBA is starting a small business because you get exposed to all aspects of business, planning the product or service, delivering the product or service, dealing with customers, dealing with the internal operations, dealing with the finance, dealing with the marketing, dealing with the legal aspects. You name it, it's a business education in and of itself, even if it's a small sideline thing that you do while you're working someplace else. Anyway, even when it comes to college skills, you should be developing certain foundational skills, but more importantly, the knowledge and skills that you learn need to be applied, and you apply them in ways that are practical. They can be applied to your personal life or your professional life. And college just misses the mark there. Now they'll sit there and go, "Oh, we'll put you into an internship program, blah blah blah." You know what? You can do that yourself, and you might even get paid a decent wage for doing it. I firmly believe in learning while you're earning, as opposed to paying while you're learning, which is what traditional higher education does. Um, the bottom line is, you have to apply things. You've got to take in the knowledge, and then at that moment, put it down. When you do one of the courses that I'm about to put out, and I talk about the SWOT analysis, one of the first things I want you to do once I show you the concepts real quick, I want you to do one, because you fill out the template and you do one, you're getting an understanding and you're taking a moment to pause, and your brain is going to start processing, oh, this is what a SWOT analysis is and why it works and what it makes sense for, because you're doing it in the moment. Big difference. One of the other things when it comes to higher education that misses the mark, uh, doing things in theory or Fantasyland, as Rodney Dangerfield had mentioned, uh, you're not accounting for the unknowns, the things that happen in real life. You can sit there and make assumptions, and you know how I feel about assumptions all day long. But assumptions, what did Mike Tyson say? Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Uh, Assumptions, allow for things to be normal, no surprises. Well, guess what? Sad news, everybody. Real life has real surprises for you, and you have to have contingency for that. And, in some cases, you're going to get a painful and sometimes expensive lesson, but you're going to learn, and you're not going to make that same mistake twice. When you're dealing in fantasy land and hypotheticals and theoreticals, you're not going to get the same approach. So, my advice is to make sure that when you self curate, you are not only learning the knowledge and skills, but you are applying them almost immediately so you can test them. I mean, as a human being, you are an experimenter, a tester. You test things out and figure out solutions to solve problems, right? Whether it be personal or professional. Company's going to pay you to solve a problem. They don't give a shit what you know. They only care about what you can do, and does it provide a solution to them? Does it save them time? Does it save them money? Does it make them money? You need to be a problem solver. And again, college and MBA school and even a PhD program, they miss the mark when it comes to that. So make sure that when you're working on learning something, you're going and doing the application end of it so that you really cement the concepts in your head, and you get to test in real time, in real world, in the wild, how it's going to work. So with that, if you're interested in this kind of content and this material, please visit myforduniversity.com. Got a lot of great references and resources for you there. Visit the two YouTube channels. That would be the Myford University channel, which is kind of a broader perspective, and the MBA Accelerator channel, which is, as you might imagine, MBA centric. Please subscribe, give us a like and a share. Don't keep us a secret. Learn things fast with us and apply them faster. Emphasis on apply, because you want real world results that solve real world problems. Say that 3 times real quick. Again, I'm George Sloan. Want to thank you for tuning in, and we will see you the next time.